Pateria, and I'd like to welcome you to the next video of this series. We'll now start representing qubit states, and this is the third chapter in our Qiskit quantum series. So let's start. So you know something about bits and how our family digital computer work. All the complex variables and objects that are used in modern software, basically these are just big piles of data. So just so we know that we have classical computing and then we have quantum computing. In classical computing we use classical bits, and in quantum computing we have quantum bits. But how are these bits represented? Means mathematically how they are understood by the computer. So we are just gonna learn that. So now we have this sketchboard. We know that in classical we have 0 or 1. These are given input as 0 and 1. So this is either on and this is off. But qubits have a pretty different case. For that we use a state, what we call a state vector. Suppose we have numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So now for 0, suppose we have a state vector of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7 numbers here. So we have a state vector of these 7 numbers of dimension 7 cross 1, 7 cross 1. 0 here is 1. So since it is 0, so 0th index will be 1 and else will be 0. For 1 we will have first index as 1 else 0, and same will be continued. So that is how we represent qubits in here. But what is this 1 representing? This represent if any particle is in state 0, then with 100% probability we can find it in 0. So here it is 1. So suppose we have superposition. Superposition means we have 50% probability to find in 0 and 50% probability to find in 1. Then state vectors will show us 1 by root 2 and 1 by root 2. So the total probability will be 1 by root 2 square plus 1 by root 2 square equal to 1. But the probability to find in 0 state will be 1 by 2. I think you understand that. Now qubit notation, that's exactly what we are going to do. So if we have matrix representation of qubits, so we are actually going to deal them in matrix form too. And how are we going to do that? Is we know about matrix multiplication, m cross n, and matrix n into p is equals to new matrix. This is m. Sorry for bad drawing, I don't have the pen. M cross p. This is matrix, and then So I think you all don't you might be familiar with term basis, and if not, in three dimension vectors we have three dimensional basis. This is called basis. This is called 3D basis, or we call it Cartesian. Now, since a qubit has a block sphere, we also seen that they also have three axes: z, y, and x. We can choose. So this is what we consider. But if we consider x as a prime, then we have this basis called plus minus, and we call z, then it is diagonal and anti-diagonal. It's pretty easy, but oh, this is a new thing. Now let's study something called superposition. This is the crux of whole quantum computing. This is very important. We can be in state 0 at any point. We can be at state 1 at any point. But we can also say that there's a 50% chance, mind the words I am using, there's a 50% chance that I am in state 0, and there's a 50% chance that I am in state 1. This is superposition. This can also be whenever we can divide this probability of 1 into ratios like 1/3 and 2/3 and its root. So this shows that there is 33% in 0 and 66% to be in 1. This is different kind of superposition. So what does superposition mean? Now I need to introduce the superposition term. Superposition can be considered as mixed state. In pure state, we are entirely in one of the possible states, but in mixed, we can belong with some probability to one state and the other probability to other state. We'll try to understand with the code, and I have implemented it using Qiskit. Let's see how can we understand that. So this is initially we import the necessary libraries. Then we initialize a quantum circuit with 1 bit, 1 qubit circuit. Then we have this initial state. We define this initial state. So we have there is also one thing I want to mention, that we can only break down the initial state into amplitudes whose sum of squares is 1. Why? Because I told you that square of amplitude is probability to find in corresponding state. So the total sum will be always equal to 1. So here we can see that 1 by square root, and this is 1j. So what is 1j? The numbers used in amplitudes are complex numbers. Real plus imaginary part. 1 plus 1j, 1 is real and 1j is imaginary. So what is square of a complex number? It's product of number with its complex conjugate. 1 plus 1j into 1 plus 1 minus 1j equal to 1 square plus 1 square. This will be equal to root 2, and this is the root of 2 is equal, and this is divided by root of 2 equal to 1. That is why we use I think you understand. So this is 2. Now this state vector, this is actually a state vector, shows the amplitudes. Okay. Now we have initialized, the bit was initialized with in the state of 1 plus 0j, comma 0 plus 0j. So this is the 0 state, default 0 state. And if we want to initialize with 1, but we have to complex, you did it. If we start with 1, so it is 0 plus 0j, 1 plus, this is 1 plus 0j, so this is state 1. So we want to initialize it with this state, we can do that. Now we have initialized this, and now we can see we have initialized it our required format. This is 1 by root 2 and this is 1 by root 2i. We initialize the state vector and we execute this into state vector and get the result. Now we want to measure, execute. So what happens is 50%. So the square of 1 by root 2 is 1 by 2. So this is 0.5% probability with 0 will come, and 0.5 probability 1 will come. So as you can see, if we initialize it with 1 by root 3 and sqrt root 3, root 2, root 3, we initialize this, we can see. So this is not, so we initialize like that. We can see that it is initial, some problem is there, does not equal to 1. So you can see that does the sum of the squares is equal to no. So we have to make it 3. That is, then we don't get this error. No, so we didn't get this error. Backend. So what will be expected? Here we'll expect that 33% will for the 0 and 66% will be the 1. So let's see the output. So we get probability of 100% probability with 1. Let's do it with J. Let's suppose we started with this. Real is equals to 1 and imaginary equals to okay. So I got the error. The thing was I was measuring the qubit, and I told you that actually I was trying to measure. There was a statement called qc dot measure all, and I was measuring it. So initially it was actually measuring it, and then every time I now take the count, it will come to 0. So once it is measured, it has come to that state. So that what measurement does. It once you measure it, and in some state you may have measured it. So now the original qubit is now changed into that state, and then once you take the measurement, it will always come to that. So if I put a measurement q c dot measure all, so that statement is wrong. So it will always come 1. Just see, nothing is wrong in the code, so it will come. But if we remove this sentence, we are not measuring it and running it from start, you can see the probabilities are actually okay. So what we are supposed to get here is 1 by 3 for 0 and 2 by 3 for 1. So that is what exactly we're getting. So you can understand that how we can manipulate this initial state and get different probabilities to get to be in one of the states 0 and 1. Now we will move to the rules of measurement. Let us create a new Python 3 file, and we'll copy all these. I don't think I'll require, but it's just that now this is rules of measurement. So now you can see here the rules are measurement. So what is a measurement actually? Measurement is checking that what is the probability of this qubit in one of the possible states in given basis. So basis, what is defined by basis? Let's go to the sketchpad. In 3-dimensional, we have x, this is suppose z, this is x, and this is y. If there is a vector r, then it has a projection on x-axis, it has a projection on y axis, and then it has a projection on z axis. Suppose, so you can see that, so z, x and y. So what we call is as these three values, x component, y component and z component, define the vector, and these are defined in terms of the basis we have chosen. Now if we are measuring a qubit is also a state vector, so it is state vector, so it can also be defined in different bases, which we have used as block sphere. This the block sphere we actually define. We can measure the qubit with the help of these bases. So if we choose the basis along z axis, we have 0 and 1 basis. If we measure it along plus and x axis, it is plus and minus basis. If we measure it along y axis, we have diagonal and anti-diagonal basis. Okay, so these are three bases we can choose. Now, very important rule. There is a very simple rule for measurement to find the probability of measuring state psi in the state x. We do so what are we finding? Probability of x, probability of psi being in x. So it is measured by x, bra x psi the whole square. What is this notation? This is inner product. The inner product is defined as, since this is a bra vector, it is a row vector, ket vector, it is a column vector, and row vector into column vector leads to a scalar. So this scalar value is the inner product. You can see by multiplying these two states, 1 and 0, 1 is defined by 0, 1, and 0 is defined by 1 and 0. I already taught you that. The result comes 0, and for 0, 0 result is 1, and 1, 1 also the result is 1. So what does that mean? The probability or this gives the amplitude, and the square is probability. So the probability to find if we are in one state to be in 0, it is 0, and same for the 0 and 1. But if we are in 0 state, the probability to find to be found in 0 is 1, and if we are in 1 state, probability to be found in 1 state is 1. So that is what inner product gives us to you. So now we have a state q0, 1 by root 2 0, I by root 2. This, so we want to find that if we are in state 0, so 0, the probability to find q0 in 0. So 0 is first, then q0. We multiply 0 on the both on the 0th term and the 1th term. Since 0 1 is 0, so that comes 0, and this is 1. So the probability to find this is 1 by root 2. So and the square is 1 by 2. The amplitude is 1 by root 2, and the probability is 1 by 2. You should bear the as an exercise. You can do that. Now the implications of rule, I suggest you read this. It will be great for your understanding. Now I just showed you an example in the in just now, that if we measure, suppose now we draw this. We have, suppose we have a photon. We have a photon. We have a photon. Oh, what is the problem? We have a photon, and it have so many directions of oscillations. And we pass it through a vertical polarizer. So only vertical polarizations are passed out. So does this what does this happen? This measurement modified the system it is measuring. So measurement measurement disturbs the system. What we think about the universe, every possible outcome is actually there, but once we measure we can only see that only one possible state the system can be in, and after measurement remains permanently in the measured state. The post measurement state. Also, to cover this, we'll code this. Try to. This is nothing but a very basic quantum circuit. We have one qubit, initial state, equal to 0 plus we have 0 dot real and 1 dot j square root 2 and 1 upon square root 2 plus 0 dot j. So this is our initial state. We can initialize our circuit with this. Initial state comma 0. So we initial, so we can just see what our initial state is. So that's perfectly normal. Now our state is ready. So now we measure it and get the state, post measurement state. State is equals to execute QC backend. We have to define the backend dot result dot get state vector. So what does this state vector give to us? This gives us the post measurement state. So we have to first define the backend. Backend equals to air dot backend state vector simulator. We have to check are we get backend it is. That's perfectly normal. So we'll run this. Now print state. So this will be our post measurement state. So what does this show? 0 plus 1 by root 2j. So it is the same as we already had. You can see here qubit is initialized with this, which is the state we expected. Now let's measure QC dot measure all, and now QC dot okay. So now we repeat this process after print state. So this will be our post measurement state. Now we can see that it is in 0th ith state, 0 plus 0j, and this is perfectly normal. It can be if we can run multiple times, we will get a different output. This is not changing, but this is changed. We can see that writing out qubit state requires track of 2 complex numbers, but when we are using real quantum computer, we will only receive a yes or no answer for each qubit. The output of a 10 qubit quantum computer will look like this. Just 10 qubits, no superposition or complex amplitudes. When using a real quantum computer, we cannot see the states of our qubits mid computation, as this would destroy them. Behavior is not ideal for learning. So Qiskit provides different quantum simulators. The QASM simulator behave as if you're interacting with real quantum computer and will not allow you to get state vector. Alternatively, state vector simulator does allow peeking at quantum states before measurement, as we have seen. So this we can see before measurement we are actually seeing how is this happening. So let's change it a bit. I think this will be okay. 1 by square root 2. 1 upon square root 2 plus 0 j j that's okay. We actually wanted this, so we are printing the state. That's exactly what we have. Now we measure it, so we now get it 1j. So this is the state we are right now having. If we run it again, can we get different? It's still the same. It has changed. It is again changed. So you can see how these things are changing. So the measurement, it can be in one of the probable states, but the chances, but of which state it will be, it is purely based on probability. We can't say anything about it. So this is Bloch sphere. Bloch sphere is a very important, so we will study this in detail. Bloch sphere, describing a restricted qubit state. So what a gate does, since suppose we have a qubit or we have photon, what a gate does, it rotates the Bloch sphere of the qubit. So the definition can be in the states like 0 or 1, plus or minus, or horizontal, anti-diagonal or diagonal. But what gate does, it rotates the Bloch sphere along some axis. We'll see how it will be happening. So after rotating, and different outcomes and different probabilities for different states can be found. We can go from one state to another, and these transformations are unitary transformations, because the magnitude of the length of that vector is not changing. These are unitary transformations, so that is why it remains in the Bloch sphere but just moves around it. Let's see in the chapter. We have a Q, alpha 0 plus beta 1. These alpha and beta are complex numbers. So we can also write, since we cannot measure global phase, we can say that alpha and beta are out of phase. Alpha and beta can be written in this form too, and suppose these representing belongs to real. Since the qubit state is normalized, so alpha square plus beta square is 1, and we use trigonometric identity, so sine square x plus cos square equals to 1. So alpha equals to cos theta by 2 and b sine theta by 2. Just do the mathematics, that will be fine. Q equals to cos theta 0, theta by 2 0, and e is to I phi sine theta 2 1, and this for theta and phi belongs to R. So visually representing a qubit state, this is a Bloch sphere. Initially we have started with this. Now we can try to representing these. So how are we doing that? Theta by 2 from किसके textbook import. This chords are representing theta, phi and radius. So radius will always be equal to 1, phi is 0 here, and pi by 2. So here this was initially at 0, and pi by 2 rotation makes it here. Minus pi by 2 would have taken it here, pi would have taken it to here. Now minus I, changing the basis, so first we get here and then we change it here. So let's move to we can see that qubits are actually represented in a Bloch sphere with different vectors. So once we rotate the Bloch sphere along a direction, along an axis, either the z axis or the x axis or the y axis, we can just see how the rotation works. And this is how we go from one state to another state, and the probabilities also change. But the whole probability, which is 1, will never change. The sum of the probabilities will always be equal to 1. Either in any basis we can go. Okay, so we'll continue. Now we'll see some single qubit gates and how they operate on it. Just be with me, and I hope we'll get a good understanding of it.